Now, Professor Nongqunga is the new president of the African Transformation Movement, replacing Vuyolwethu Zungula. The party made this announcement earlier, saying the decision was made by its National Executive Committee, and the aim, it says, is to separate the roles of party advocacy as well as organizational building. Zama Ntshona is the spokesperson of the African Transformation Movement and joins us live now. A very good evening to you, Mr. Ntshona, and thank you so much for your time. Before we even get into the conversation around the African Transformation Movement, I'm going to ask you just briefly, because I see that you can't join us virtually because of an accident on the road and there's rain where you are. Are you able to just briefly describe what is happening and the impact of these adverse weather conditions?
Thank you so much. Good evening to you and the listeners. Truly, when you are moving between Nongqunga and East London, yes, we have had heavy rain, slippery roads, and we have seen on the road a couple of accidents that the law enforcement is attending to, and also we have paramedics on the scene. But truly, it is imperative that people on the road must actually be cautious and be as careful as possible, because truly the heavy rains and the cold weather is troubling at this time.
Thank you very much for that. So let's get back to the subject of our conversation this evening. One can't help but look at this as a removal of Mr. Zungula and a demotion, is it?
Oh, no, not at all, not at all. This has been coming for the past 52 weeks. Remember, after the 2024 elections, we had to sit as a party and evaluate the work that we've been doing, evaluate our performances. We went to the wards, we went to the region, we went to the provinces, and eventually we then put together a report of the performance of the ATM, looking at it holistically. Now, one of the issues that we raised as the NCC on the matter was the marvelous work that is being done by President Zungula. Truly was leaving no stone unturned, ensuring that there is accountability in this country. And you may remember his stance on Palapala, re-fencing of the microeconomic space, illegalities that are happening in the country, and advocating for the opening of the space so as to allow our young people to find expression within the country. But truly, up to so far, those things were not happening. Now, by extension, we then had to look at the party itself and the rate at which we are growing. And upon looking at those, it then dawned on us as a product of that intensive evaluation that we need to separate the roles found in the person of the president, so as to allow better advocacy and also better party growth as we are going towards 2026 and 2029. Now, also take into consideration that for the first time the ANC went under 50. The ground is fertile. Now it needs people who are able to position themselves for the advocacy that will take these people, the people of this country, out of the challenges that they are faced with.
So you speak about his contribution as far as the work in Parliament is concerned, and the statement, of course, your statement, saying that he's going to be focusing on the party's parliamentary duties, whilst Professor Nongqunga will then concentrate on the party's growth. Does this mean that the party was seeing him as more effective in Parliament than when it comes to growing the party on the ground?
Well, we were doing both pretty well, but you must also take into cognizance that the ever-changing environment of politics, they actually need from time to time a reinforced program of action that is going to assist. Because if it is just advocacy alone and you are not speaking about numbers, you are not going to speak to the realization of the ideals of this country and what we stand for, especially as mandated by the people of this country. Now, it is imperative that we then have a separation of these duties for effectiveness and efficiency.
So does it mean, and I ask this again, does it mean he didn't do well in growing the party on the ground, but did well in the space of advocacy?
No, not at all. This is why I'm saying this needs a rapid, a faster rate of growth. This is why you have to separate the duties so as to allow for a faster rate. Our children are dying daily. In South Africa, the murder rate is over 70 murders a day. 70% of young people are not working. Close to 50% of the population does not have employment. The poverty rate has gone over 30 million of the citizens of this country. Now, there is no time to rest. We must move with speed. And we believe that with this move, we will be able to move with speed on both ends.
So there is a view, from some who are watching these particular developments. I'm sure you've seen it even on social media as well, that this has nothing to do with advocacy, but in fact it is about the political pact that you entered into with the MK party, and some even going as far as suggesting that he may actually even have a role in the Umkhonto weSizwe party, while others are saying that for them they are reading that this particular development within that particular update of that political pact.
Well, as much as we love the Progressive Caucus, and as much as we speak to the advancement and the alignment of leftist and pan-Africanist parties, but no, that is not the case. ATM maintains its independence. ATM puts President Zungula as the party leader in parliament, who is going to lead moving forward with advocacy there. There is no move towards the MK. He is not going to be a member of MK. He's not going to be deployed in MK, but he's going to remain as party leader in parliament. So this, as much as we love the Progressive Caucus, has nothing to do with the caucus. It has everything to do with the ATM and making sure that it repositions itself for future advancement. So
in all this repositioning, one wonders then, how do you begin to strike a balance, particularly when it comes to leadership? That will be, of course, the leadership in parliament versus the leadership that is now leading the party. Give us a sense of how those dynamics are likely to unfold.
We've been working together since inception. Professor Nongqunga, remember, Professor Nongqunga is the visionary of the party. So we would discuss issues of advocacy together. We would discuss statements of the ATM together. We would strategize together. But it's just that he was behind the scenes and President Zungula was in parliament. Now he moves from behind the scenes to assist so that we are able to equally shoulder I don't want to say the burden, it is not a burden, to shoulder the responsibility so that we are able to move forward.
All right, Zama, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. And of course, for you making time for us even available there via that line. I know that, of course, the weather not making things a little easy. That's Zama Ntshona, the spokesperson of the African Transformation Movement.